Carmelo Anthony's family has requested a court-appointed attorney instead of using some of the $600,000, $700,000 that they got in the GoFundMe from everyone that was feeling like, oh yeah, this young man was being so bullied, let me give them money. Only for him to now be charged with first degree, which means the jury saw something in it too, because the indictment, like, they got to see some things. And so where's that money gonna go? I'll tell you where it's gonna go. His parents are gonna live off of it while he goes to jail, because sympathetic black people, yeah, it's the truth, gave them free money. Why can't we be sympathetic to the right shit as black people? Why do we get behind the wrong side of shit?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and yes, we got to talk about it, man. We had a really good discussion on Thursday. If you didn't get a chance to check out that live stream, we had a good panel discussion about this particular situation. We discussed a multitude of things, but this was the last topic here. It came out on, I believe, Wednesday afternoon, evening time frame, that Karmelo Anthony was officially being indicted for a first-degree homicide. We talked about that. I think you guys know about that. Y'all also know that he raised over $500,000. We all know that. That is something that happened over the previous 2 months. And then some new news came out. And I want to share my screen with you guys. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, so as you can see here, and shout out to Sarah Fields. She's been covering this story and doing some really good work. So Carmelo Anthony's family submitted a indigent packet to the Collin County Court requesting a court-appointed legal representation as an indigent or financially destitute defendant. Now, what we do know is that Carmelo family, they raised the Give, Send, Go campaign. They raised it up to 1.4 million, talking about we got to have a legal team now. And a lot of people are up in arms about it. A lot of people are like, yo, what was the $537,000 that you raised? Where did that money go? What was it for? Because a lot of people donated to this particular campaign here, thinking that, hey, we want to make sure that the young man gets proper representation via a lawyer, because a lot of people believe that he is innocent or was, practicing self-defense in some shape, way, form, or fashion. Y'all know where I stand on this, so I'm not going to rehash that. I said this 2 or 3 months ago when this incident happened, that Carmelo Anthony is going to jail just based off of the information that I read and the information I read about the Texas law, so forth and so on. Carmelo Anthony's mother, Kayla Hayes, who manages the Give, Send, Go, she stated on April 17th, which was 2 months ago at this point, that she just gained access to the funds, and at the same time, at that point, they had raised $350,000. The goal is was $500,000. They actually raised $538,000. And people were trying to figure out why in the world are y'all asking for a court-appointed lawyer, and y'all saying that y'all taking this thing to trial? It does not make sense to me at all, but there are a lot of people out there. There's a lot of black folks out there that supported this campaign. They supported it. And they're like, what in the world is going on? Seriously. And like the brother mentioned, hey, you can get on board with a whole bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like, a lot of the time, you see a lot of black folks out there, and I say this, not to denigrate, but just seems like always on the wrong side of history. And here we are once again, being conned. Black folks basically been conned out their money by the Anthony family, as well as this race hustler by the name of Dominic Alexander, and from his group. I mean, this is crazy, but let's check out these brothers and sisters. We got to hear from them, because they're going to go slap off about this.
Hello, Anthony's family is broke, y'all. They broke, right? They broke. They scammed y'all again. I was saying this, and everybody was mad at me, and everybody was saying I was some type of Uncle Tom, because I was telling y'all that this family is no good. That this family was using black people, was going to raise a lot of money just off the emotions of black people, because black people are emotional, and they was going to raise all this money just like Black Lives Matter did. Black Lives Matter raised millions and millions of dollars off George Floyd. And then they didn't put nothing back in the community. They didn't use the money for what they said they were going to use it for. So now Karmelo Anthony needs a public defender. After being raised over $500,000, they used it on apparently house, cars, relocation, and everything else. And now the boy can't even, the criminal, he ain't gonna even have good representation because the parents took the money and didn't do what they should. They should be investigated for fraud. They should be investigating for that heist that they pulled where they lied to everybody and played the victim when they have money and used this money that was supposed to be used for lawyer fees, and they used it to line their own pockets. How is Karmelo Anthony's family broke and unable to afford a lawyer after raising over $500,000?
That's the question that everybody has. That's the question that I had when I saw this last week. Y'all raised $538,000 and 2 months later, y'all got no money for a lawyer? When, from what we were told, the reason why y'all are raising this money is to get a lawyer, and then y'all added in security and all this other kind of stuff that y'all did not need. Like, what is going on, man? This is ridiculous.
As if race hustling over $500,000 wasn't enough, the Anthony family is looking for more. The crazy thing is, Karmelo Anthony's mother and father knew he was guilty from day one. They knew it. Even the family's shady spokesperson, you know, the guy who has a longer criminal rap sheet than Jack the Ripper, he knew it too. After over $500,000 donated from hardworking people and spent by the Anthony family, now they're out looking for more. Over $1 million more for quote unquote legal fees. I mean, this family has race hustled hundreds of thousands out of the pockets of black liberals. And I say black liberals because black conservatives wasn't buying that shit. But
He right about that.
they manipulated the emotions of the EBT community, turning this thing into a race thing rather than a good versus evil thing, which is what it was. And like always in these situations, the wrong people got compensated. I guess the Anthony family didn't realize that a new house, new cars, and bodyguards actually cost. And now they're trying to seek a court-appointed lawyer. Meanwhile, they were given this money to pay for a lawyer. But yeah, now they're asking for another $1 million so that they can allocate more donations for personal use.
You understand how crazy that is? Anybody that is still donating to these people, they are hustling backwards. The crazy thing too is that these are also the same folks that will say that black people don't have any money, but then can turn around and raise $500,000 in a short time span for someone, in my opinion, who didn't deserve it, and based off of what we're seeing today, didn't deserve it. But they'll turn around and say black folks don't have any money. I mean, it's the most craziest thing. It is so crazy. And to be honest with you, man, the people that did donate, they should be demanding their money back, especially after they filed for a TFDA indigent packet for a court-appointed lawyer. And basically what that means is that they don't have any money, and the Texas courts are required by law to provide you with either a public defender or a court-appointed lawyer that is on a list of lawyers that can be used for people who cannot afford proper legal counsel. The crazy thing is that they raised $500,000, $500,000 for this young man's case. They're literally sacrificing this kid for money. They obviously don't care. This is a cash grab. This is an opportunity to fill the coffers of Karmelo Anthony's parents, Dominic Alexander's race hustling, grifting, what do you call it? A nonprofit organization. That's what this is about. And they're going to sacrifice this young man to do it. And they're talking about taking this case to trial. It makes absolutely no sense to me why they're taking this to trial. It doesn't sound like he has a case. Based off of what I read, I'm like, man, this young man, he going to jail. He doesn't have a case. You would think that he would show some contrition He would apologize. He would show some form of empathy and throw himself at the mercy of the judge and hope that he gets somewhat of a lenient sentence with a date that he can come home that he can look forward to. Because if he takes this thing to trial and loses, I would assume that he is going to get the max of the penalty. He's looking at probably 99 years. And if not 99, at least 50 to 60. I just don't understand it, man. It doesn't make sense to me, man. It doesn't. But there's a few more brothers and sisters out there that they can't make heads or tails of it either.
Right. The family of Karmelo Anthony, who was accused of first-degree murder, is asking a GoFundMe for $1.4 million for legal fees. But something ain't right. They didn't raise over $538,000 for his legal fees. But they're asking for a court-appointed attorney. Asking for a court-appointed attorney. Listen, what y'all do with that money? What y'all do with that $500,000? That's $500,000. Something ain't going wrong. I don't know what his family doing, but y'all going through some money. Ain't no way you got $538,000 from GoFundMe for your legal fees, and you asked for $1.4 million. Something ain't right. Y'all did some of that money. I don't care what you say. You don't go through $500,000 that's supposed to be for his legal fees and asking for $1.4 million. The cat's out the bag. The family did some of that money. That money's supposed to go for that boy's legal defense.
Absolutely. He's absolutely right. And the thing is that, hey, y'all, the fact that they have the nerve, the gall to jump out there and ask for another $1 million is just insanity to me. Is it a lack of, what's the word I'm looking for? Lack of self-awareness for y'all to jump out there and ask for another $1 million? Whew, I just don't get it. The gall of these people.
Spending it or doing something. I ain't no, you gonna ask for $1.4 million? This is outrageous. The family of Karmelo Anthony needs to be investigated because you got $500,000 for his legal fund and you getting a court-appointed attorney and asking for $1.4 million. That's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am frustrated, I am tired, and I'm damn near heartbroken. Because what I'm looking at right now, what I'm reading about the Karmelo Anthony case, this ain't just sad. It's sinful. It's shameful. It's sick. You mean to tell me this man is facing a first-degree murder charge, facing life in prison, and he just filed an indictment form? He's broke after supporters raised over $538,000 for his legal defense. This ain't gonna fly. Not today, but somebody gotta say it, and I guess it's me. Fees. They said it was to protect this young man and give him a fair shot at fighting for his life. But now, here we are, less than 2 months later, and this kid got no money left. He filed an indignant packet requesting a court-appointed attorney, meaning he can't afford his own defense anymore. And I'm supposed to believe this is just a coincidence?
Hell no.
Somebody got to pull the curtain back on these parents, because to me, this ain't adding up. Let's talk about that house. The family moved into a $900,000 rental in Frisco, Texas, one of the most upscale, high-end, gated communities in the area. They said it was because they were getting death threats. Okay, let's say I believe that. But why the $900K price tag? Why not a $300K?
Exactly. Why y'all move into a $900,000 rental? Who does that? Who does that? I mean, that's just so wasteful with the money, man. They could have moved. You could have moved. You didn't have to move to something like that.
$100K safe house out in the country. Why not a secure apartment with a private security? Why the luxury zip code? Then let's talk about the car. A neighbor told reporters that a brand new car showed up soon after they moved in. New paper tags, fresh off the lot, expiring June 4th. And you mean to tell me that was paid for with security expenses? Or was that just mom and dad enjoying the donation run? The boy should have had a lawyer day one. I'm talking about top tier, no games, murder case attorney behind him. Retainers paid, hours billed, motions filed. But instead, we got a family blowing money on a house and a car. Talking about bodyguards and living expenses. And now begging for another $1.4 million.
Come on, dog.
And
so Karmelo Anthony.
I'll say this. It makes me think that they thought or believe that he is guilty. This is a cash grab. This is an opportunity for them to cash out, and they're taking full advantage of it. And they're preying on the heartstrings of Black Americans across the country, mainly liberal Black Americans, that decided that they were going to support this cause because someone made this racial. They made it a black-white thing when it wasn't that. It was a teenage boy thing. It was some high school stuff. And it didn't matter the race of the kids, but they made it that, and they raised $500,000 on it. And Dominic Alexander, the race hustling individual who basically he has his name on the tips of everybody's tongue. He has his organization, on the lips of everybody's on the lips of everybody out there, talking about his National Action Network or whatever, his Al Sharpton duplicate, of an organization. He's using this to build his profile on. I mean, it's disgusting, man.
His family raised all of that money, and now they're filing in court that they're indigent, meaning that they're poor and they need a court-appointed an attorney. So what's so sad is that they literally threw their own son under the bus for financial gain.
Yeah.
That's just what this is, because they should have took a plea deal for that boy. They should have took a plea deal for him, and they did not do that, and now he is facing life in prison. And that is so freaking sad. But they hustled y'all, though. They played on y'all emotions because he was black. And I don't even know, I mean, honestly, they knew the whole time that he did it.
Good motherfucking morning, world. I am so disgusted. I promise you, I'm so disgusted. What I just heard is it made me so disgusted this morning. It's crazy. Now, like, the whole world was invested in talking about the Karmelo Anthony situation. Sometimes I tell you, these black people, boy, they just the worst. They the fucking worst sometimes. Hear me out. Hear me the out, okay? Because this shit don't make no sense. I'm trying to wrap this shit around my head and comprehend some of this bullshit that I just heard. Everybody and their mama was invested or even talking about or heard about the situation with Karmelo Anthony, because I think it's disgusting how some of these families think. And it's not just black people, but sometimes, to me, my opinion, sometimes black people just think about the dumbest shit to buy and purchase and don't think about the long-term shit or the main source of what they need the money for. You feel me? I promise you. I don't know what the fuck his family was thinking. I don't know what the fuck is going on with people. What's wrong with somebody that would do something like that? The whole purpose of raising the money was to get for the child.
Yeah. So you gotta see it, man. People are not happy. They're not happy about this situation here, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm glad to see people stand up and say, hey, man, this is ridiculous. Y'all raised over $500,000 and y'all about to send this boy to court, and y'all say y'all going to trial with a public defender. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, it's not too late. I don't think it is. I don't think it's too late for them to go with a plea. He's just formally have been charged. Obviously, he's been indicted. So we know that he's been formally, officially indicted and charged with first-degree homicide. At this point now, he gets with a lawyer. They can start to figure out what can we do to hammer this thing out so this thing don't have to go to trial, waste the court's time and money, and potentially get the book thrown at him. He's got to show some contrition. And I don't know if Karmelo is 18 yet, but if he is, he's got to this is his life on the line. And he's got to say, hey, man, we can't go to trial with this thing. I am not willing to risk 100 years. I'm just not. As an 18-year-old man, 100 years, that means that's life in prison, essentially. It's never getting out of there. He needs to have a real conversation with his parents. This is his life on the line, and say, hey, man, can we speak to the DA and figure out a plea? I know I'm probably going to jail. Ain't no probably about it. I know I'm going to jail, but now it's about how long. Can we get 20 years? Can we plead to a lesser charge and take the max or whatever that is? Maybe it's a manslaughter charge of some sort. And maybe you can take the max on that, 20 years, maybe get a chance to be out early. Who knows? Who knows? But the way that they're going about this, man, it makes absolutely no sense. And a lot of people are frustrated and upset because there's a lot of folks out there that donated money. And they're like, what in the world? Why does this young man have proper representation? And why did y'all go and spent all this money on a house and y'all bought a brand new car, but y'all neglect and y'all paid for security, which I would assume some of that money went to Dominic Alexander's group, paying for security, quote unquote. And then y'all lead a young man out the drive with no bread. I didn't think y'all just gonna come back to the internet and think that folks is just gonna jump on board with y'all like that. It doesn't make sense, but it just shows the lack of self-awareness. It does. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. This situation is a complete mess. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the